It is with the utmost love and reverence and gratitude that I offer my humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of our dear Lord, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Sai Ram, everyone. I am the backup plan. I will do my very, very best. I'm going to share with you some really beautiful things from the Eternal Companion. You know, as a devotee who's very focused on my own sadhana every day, and you get something like this to look at. As you turn the pages, you cannot help but come across beautiful pieces of information that help in our sadhana. And this particular edition, of course, has a focus on Shivaratri, and there was something that struck me that I wanted to share just right off the bat. In reading this edition, it says, every particle and every atom of the universe is a manifestation of Lord Shiva. And this is something that's also, by the way, stated in the Rudram that we chant here every Saturday morning. In fact, this ability to experience that every particle and every atom of the universe is a manifestation of Lord Shiva is something that we are assured of, and that we can be ultimately experiencing this when we chant Shiva Rudram with complete devotion. So really beautiful for me to discover that little nuggets there. In fact, it is the strength of our devotion that gives us the grace to have spiritual experiences. These are the spiritual experiences that we need so that we can learn and we can build our own spiritual wisdom that allows us to move forward in our road and journey towards Lord Sai Shiva. And so it's here that I would like to share with you a story. It's a Swami and Dr. Reddy story that you will find in this month's edition of the Eternal Companion. Just as a little backstory to this, Dr. Reddy has always been devoted. It's an interesting experience for me to share a Dr. Reddy story in front of Dr. Reddy. Sai Ram, sir, I will do my very best to do you justice here. No pressure, everyone. We're just going to let this flow smoothly and see how we go. So, as a backstory, Dr. Reddy has always been very devoted to Lord Shiva, and whenever possible, he would observe Shivaratri with Swami in Prashanti Nilayam. It's definitely the right place to be. So this little section, the story that I'm going to share, is very beautifully described and written by Dr. Reddy. He says, in 1999, I arrived in Prashanti Nilayam a few days before Mahashivaratri. It wasn't crowded like the Shivaratris of the past because Swami had discontinued doing Lingodbhavam. That's the manifestation of the lingam from the mouth, publicly in 1977. That year, we were all in for a divine surprise. Devotees gathered from all around the world were observing the sacred night-long vigil, singing bhajans and chanting the Rudram. Swami arrived in the morning and sat on the dais, enjoying the bhajans. To the astonishment of everyone, he blessed the gathering with Lingodbhavam, and the whole atmosphere in the hall became electrified. A thrill coursed through all of us who witnessed it. Adding to the magnificence of this unexpected episode, Swami mentioned in his discourse that those who had witnessed the emergence of the Shiva Linga from him would be liberated and have no more births. This proclamation was such an unexpected divine blessing because, and we should note, that moksha comes only after attaining jnana and intense atma vichara, or self-inquiry. So then I became even more committed to be with Swami every Mahashivaratri. And it was distressing to witness Swami going through a painful physical trauma during that process of Lingobhavam. However, when I expressed my concern to Swami, he said, "The mother suffers labor pains during delivery. Despite that, when the baby is born, the mother is full of joy. So too, this has to happen, and after it happens, it gives great joy to me and the devotees." This is such a revelation, just an inside bit of information of how the Lord of the universe feels as he suffers in his physical body for us to do things to give us joy, to help us in our spiritual growth, but it makes him so happy to do it. How incredible. Anyway, the story continues. A few years later, in 2004, Swami did the Lingobhavam, which became a sacred feature of Mahashivaratri by then. A couple days after Mahashivaratri, Swami called our family for an interview. Swami surprised us by blessing us with the golden Hiranyagarbha linga. Placing it in my hands, he said, "You wanted a lingam, right? This is the one that emerged from me on Mahashivaratri day," he continued. "This is the Someshwara lingam. You should perform Abhishekam daily to this lingam." Swami said, "Perform the Abhishekam. You are a doctor, and you will be seeing many patients in your practice. You may distribute the linga Abhishekam water to anyone who may need it." Now, it should be noted that for those who have been fortunate to have this sacred water, many amazing cures and outstanding miracles have occurred and continue to occur in devotees that partake this linga water. Even patients with the dreaded conditions like cancer and stroke were healed. This is all due to the grace and omnipotence of Swami expressed through the linga and the strong faith of the devotees. And luckily for all of us, Dr. Reddy continues to freely share this precious linga water to anyone who requests it. Indeed, this shows the omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence of the Lord. Of course, all of us who are going to be here on Shivaratri will have that opportunity and chance to have that water. Very, very important. I urge all of us to be here for that. So now we're going to talk about another beautiful Swami and Dr. Reddy story. And this is about how the Someshwara Gayatri came into existence. This is again written by Dr. Reddy. And he says, "One blessed day, I was doing the sacred ritual worship of the lingam in a prayerful and contemplative mood. I had a sudden flash of intuition, and without conscious effort, the words just flowed out of me. Om Someshwara Vidmahe Suvarnalingaya Dhimahi Tanna Sai Prachodayat. The way it emerged, I felt quite sure that I wasn't the author, or even had any conscious thought about it. Knowing intuitively that it was something of great significance, I noted it down. On my next visit to Puttaparthi, I shared with Baba the profound experience that he had granted with me. I also showed him the piece of paper with the Someshwara Gayatri mantra written on it. Swami glanced at it and studied it, and then he struck off the last line, and in its place he wrote Tanna Sarva Prachodayat, replacing the Tanna Sai Prachodayat. Swami is thus not only the unseen inspiration, but also the direct, literal author or source of this mantra, which is Om Someshwaraya Vidmahe Suvarnalingaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. The linga came from him. This Gayatri came from him, and he finally authenticated it with his divine signature as well. What a precious blessing for all of us. This special Gayatri is actually what you will hear chanted when this lingam gets brought up onto the altar during at the beginning of Shivaratri. So keep your eyes on it. Just seeing it is a blessing. And I'm going to share you very briefly, because I promised I'd keep this within a 10-minute window. I hope I'm on track. I'm going to share with you one last story. It's another Swami Dr. Reddy story that is so very sweet. Again, as a quick backstory, Dr. Reddy had been getting very, very busy with the activities of the International SAI organization. Swami had asked him, you've got to travel around the world and see all the folks in the different countries and make sure everything's running smooth and coordinating correctly. And so Dr. Reddy had to travel and do all this work, and his travel was increasing and increasing. And during an interview with Swami that year, Swami very pleasantly surprised Dr. Reddy by creating a crystal lingam, which was small in size and easy to carry. Swami gave it to him and saying, "You travel a lot. This is a travel linga." So it's very sweet. So whenever Dr. Reddy travels alone, he carries the travel linga. It's Dr. Reddy's constant and ardent prayer in his heart that the linga and Lord Sai Shiva travel with him on the ultimate journey of life. I'm just going to close with the very beautiful words that Dr. Reddy closed this article with. He says, "May Lord Sai bless us all on this holy Mahashivaratri to pursue our spiritual practices with devotion, determination, and dedication." Jai Sai Ram.